Fourth one, I know a lot of people hate books. I used to hate books. I think because we were programmed in such a way that when we were in schools, we were given books that thick, or at least this thick. And there's no way we can finish it, and the homeworks after homeworks after homeworks, so it made us hate books. But as I grew up, I learned to love reading, because reading is so important. Reading is like reading a life manual, a manual to help you to know how to go about in life. And this is something so critical. We must read more. A lot of people don't read. This is the worst thing, the latest generation, the latest environment, we, even adults, is that most of us, we know how to read, we know how to write, but the problem is a lot of us don't read. We don't read. The only thing you read is Facebook, social media. But these are the things that's not really empowering our mind. So read more books, good books. Be very, very specific what books you want to read. You want to go for psychology? Read from books on the mind, the mindset awareness. So these are the books you should read. And look into how, let's say, habits, 7 effective habits, powerful habits. These are things you can read. So it helps you nurture your mind, brain. Fifth one. The worst part is that a lot of people don't practice what they read. I have seen people who actually read so much. You say anything they know. It's like a Google. Say anything they know, but just never put into action, never practice. So if we are going to have a better mindset, we need to put into practice what we have read. Simple stuff that you read those certain books, and then there's some particular thing that gives you that aha moment. Have you actually put them into action? Are you practicing it? If you're not practicing it, then it serves no purpose. So what I encourage a lot of people here, when you want to cultivate a great mindset, those books that you've read, you must put into action. You don't have to practice, 10, 100 things that you read. Like I agree with Jackson said, like what Bruce Lee said. You take one thing and practice it 100,000 times, 10,000 times, 100 times, 1,000 times, up to you. But you need to put them into practice. If you don't put them into practice, then essentially it's something that you store just here. It's quite absurd. If you buy an iPhone, the most expensive iPhone, and you leave it in your shelf and you do nothing about it, that is the same condition when you have read a book, you got the best knowledge, and you just keep it here, but you don't do anything with it. That is ridiculous and it is absurd. So you need to practice what you've read. Okay, that is so important. The sixth one is that attend seminars, workshop, and also trainings. Training of minds, seminars and workshop, these are important things that we need to go through. It doesn't mean that, if we already know more stuff, we don't need trainings, we don't need seminars, we don't need workshop. That's not right, because we as a human being, we cannot remember the stuff that we have learned. Now, if you look at how our mind works, is that we have the conscious mind, the subconscious mind, and the unconscious mind. Whatever we have learned so far in the entire lifetime, it will be stored in the unconscious mind. Now, once you want to use this stuff, you store in the unconscious mind and you're conscious about it. That's how we learn to drive. Now, imagine you stop driving for quite a while, you probably don't know how to drive after you don't drive for the next 5 years. Why? Because those things, the skill that you have is being actually erased from your subconscious mind, but you still have it in your unconscious mind. But then if you start driving again, sharpen your skill again, then you'll be transferred back to your unconscious mind, and then you know how to drive again. So that's essentially how our mind works in a nutshell. So think about this. If you don't go for training, you don't go for workshop, you don't go for seminars, one of the things you have learned in the past, you just store at the unconscious mind, you will never know how to use them. A training, a seminars, it helps you to remember. It reminds you, okay, these are the things that I've learned 2-3 years ago, but I've never practiced them. Or maybe I've used less of them. It's time for me to look at it. Maybe I'll just need to put it more into practice, into action. So it helps you to be a better person, upgrades you to a better version of yourself. So essentially, go for trainings. If you want to go for free training, by all means. If you want to go for paid trainings, I think that's good, because paid training usually gives you more content. Free trainings are good ones. But not many free trainings are very good, because some free trainings serve as a bait, a funnel. You go there and then they give you something and they upsell you certain stuff. Okay, I'm not saying they're bad, but I'm saying that it's good for you to attend trainings, seminars and workshops. It helps you to have it helps your mind to exercise. It helps your brain to have a stronger muscle. So this is important. Okay, then we go to the last one. This is something that a lot of people don't do. I signed up as I signed up Jackson's mentorship. To be very honest with you, there's a reason why, and I know there's a few of us here signed up. There is a reason why we get a mentor. I personally get a mentor not because I feel that I'm stupid. It's not. I know I'm smart, and the rest of us are quite smart as well. But there's a reason why we get a mentor or a coach is that we cannot see ourselves in detail unless we have a mirror. There's no human being on earth that know how they look like unless they have a mirror. In the ancient day, you still need a river to become a mirror to give you reflection to see yourself. So, coach or a mentor serve as a mirror. They serve as somebody that know they can see the things that we can't see. Now, I did this stuff. There's such a thing called personality test. When you test somebody's personality, if you ask yourself, how do you feel about yourself? Technically, most of the time, it's not that accurate. But the person that is closest to you, which is a third party, will actually see much clearer about us. Like me, I know sometimes I was quite short-tempered. But then, if I look at myself, am I short-tempered? I don't think so. But the person next to me say, you sure or not? I think you're short-tempered, Really? Yeah lah. I say this, you're already angry very fast. Oh, yeah lah. So essentially, we need someone. We need someone to really help us to look at ourselves. It's a mirror. So getting a coach or a mentor is important if we want to go to the next stage fast. It compresses time. I can spend the next 5-10 years to trial and error, do whatever I want to do to get to where I want to be. But if I have somebody already have 19 years of experience, which can sit down in front of him and I'll tell him what my problem is, and he already been through that, he can tell me, okay, these are the things I've been through, and see if this works for you. So that will help us to have a better mindset. So a coach or a mentor sees what we cannot see. So these are 7 tips that I can share with all of you about how to cultivate a powerful mindset. So yes, go back, ask yourself this question. Of all these 7 tips, how many of them actually have you put into practice? If you have put into practices, let's say more than half of them, congratulations. If you have practiced 7 of them, that's perfect. This is 7 only, but there are more. But this is 7. If you're already practicing 7 of them, also great. You're getting somewhere. But if you're not, if you're just somewhere, 1 or 2, I think there's a lot of homework to be done. In that sense, I think we can actually start to have a better mindset. A mindset is something that you can cultivate. You're not born with it. Some of us were born with great mindset, but most of us are not. It's something you can override, okay? There's something I can share in the future about this. Okay, so I think that's all for my sharing. So thank you very much.